I got something to say. What's up, Mimi?
Hey,
Hey, sweetheart, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How you?
I'm good. I feel like we got the same lip on today. I don't wear a lip,
We
but
might. Yeah, I'm a little I'm like a pouty pink.
so my lips are pouty pink naturally.
No, I don't think we got the same lip.
So I ain't got pouty pink. What I got?
You ain't got pouty pink. No.
What color is my lips?
I mean they ain't pouty, they just they I don't know, I guess.
Pink. What's up,
Mm.
Sandra?
Hey Sandra.
So listen,
So you keep it secrets, honey.
what I keep?
You've been on the radio.
I've always been on the radio.
I ain't know that. You ain't never told me.
I've always been on the radio for the last, what, 3 years?
I you no major radio. I ain't know that.
Yeah, so listen, that has been playing for the last 3 years, maybe
Oh.
four. Maybe I know three at least. That was pre-recorded down at I pre-recorded that for them. They were down there, and one of my clients, Sharona, had told me, "Hey,
Yeah.
you need to be down there. You need to go down there and stuff." And they want to promote businesses. And so I had ran down there one day, and they put me on the radio. So it's been on there for like 3 years. So I'm
Yes.
thankful for the publicity, that I've gotten over the last 3 years. Because a lot of times my students hear it and they be like, "Oh, Mr. Lamont, I heard you on the radio." Yes, yes. And like you
Because
said,
it is on the young people station. My nail tech told me about it. I said,
oh,
"Are
okay.
you
Yeah,
okay?"
yeah, 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 yeah. So
You know,
I've
because
been
I listen to the old people radio.
so yeah, I'm on the radio. And
Oh,
I mean,
stuff.
I'm thankful. And you know what? I think that sometimes, like, I've heard myself and I'll be like, "Oh, wow, that's me." "Oh, wow, Lamar, get it."
I
So
know that's exciting.
it is very exciting. And I'm thankful for the opportunity that, free publicity to be on a major radio station
Hello,
like that. That's amazing. And I
that's
do get a lot
major.
of clients to say that they've heard me on there, and that's why, they want to come to me and stuff. So I
Okay.
appreciate it. Listen at you talking about you say no
Said, I
secrets.
said this ain't
No
a kiss some
secrets. No
secret.
secrets. What's up, LeVar? What's up, Sandra? So no secrets. So how's your week been?
My week has been enlightening.
Okay. Enlightening. That's a good word. That's a
Yeah,
good word. Enlightening. Oh, so
yeah.
would you care to define
I
enlightening?
made some decisions about my own healing.
Okay.
I have decided to forgive myself
Okay.
for dishonoring myself and
Okay.
allowing certain people in my life and allowing my abusers to basically keep me captive mentally.
Okay. I
So,
respect that. About 2 weeks ago, we had a
mhm,
show called Does God Really Love Me? And this is a
yeah,
continuation of that show. However, you and I had an intimate moment on last week whenever I made the executive decision to cancel the show.
yes,
Um,
you did. Yeah.
um, and it wasn't because Mimi wanted the show to be canceled. It was that I made the decision to cancel the show because I didn't feel like that you were in a place that I wanted to showcase that place that you were in, as we both were at the salon and we had
Hmm.
very intimate moments with each other, telling each other, how we felt in those moments. And as the tears flowed, I knew then that this was not a place that I wanted Mimi to be in on last week, as I feel as though the week prior had opened some doors. I'm not saying that the doors were not open, but it opened some other doors for you.
Hmm.
And so then,
All the doors is open, all the doors and windows and vents.
I applaud you, Mimi. I want to say that publicly, as we shared some private moments that I won't bring on camera and tell people, but I will say that I acknowledge where you were last week. And, as we were talking, and you did say that, you know what, I'm ready to take the next steps. And I'm proud of you
Mhm.
for taking the next steps, which the next steps, Mimi decided that Mimi said, "I'm going to get some counseling. I need some help." And it's okay. I appreciate that. And then even for you to be able to say openly on camera on tonight to say, hey, I've decided to forgive myself.
Yeah.
That's one thing that people fail to do is to forgive themselves.
Well, I
But
don't think people realize that they need to
mhm,
forgive themselves for the shame, for feeling ashamed, for all the things that abuse brings, and
mhm,
that is people pleasing, and you attract. It's like you were conditioned for abuse,
mhm,
so your relationships end up being abusive. And I'm not just talking about physical, I'm just talking about somebody not honoring you the way you deserve, because that's not what you attract, because that's not what you're putting out,
so
you
I
know. Yeah,
I
so it's, and like I remember when we were talking, and you were giving me some suggestions about, writing a letter to my abusers. And then I was sitting, I said, fuck all of them. I ain't writing no damn letters to them. I don't. They done. I done spent. I done gave them too much
too much
of
energy.
my energy.
Mhm,
So it's like now I have to heal
right.
myself,
And I think
whatever it looks like.
whatever
And
it looks like.
and and it was so funny because what really got me, and it was something, my friends, they was like, that was so offensive. It was a Facebook post, okay?
Mhm.
One of my Facebook friends had posted, would you lose weight to find a husband? And me, I was like, shit, I done had two of them. And the only people that want husbands is people ain't never had one, you know? And I'm not against marriage. I'm definitely not. And I recognize I probably didn't have good marriages. And I don't fault the other person. I didn't attract
Mhm.
great things because I now know I didn't feel great about me.
Mhm.
So I attracted what I was. So broken people attract broken people,
Wow.
you know. So, and when you got two brokens, it does not make a fix. It doesn't make a whole.
It's not.
So um
It means broken. For real.
broken
Broken.
it's shattered. you can't
Right.
even you
Right.
can't even put that thing back together.
Mhm.
So I was in the post and I said, well, I said, if you got two people, I said, if you met the person, Fluffy, and he was attracted to you and you attracted to him, why would you have to lose weight? And I had said, shoot, I said, I've been married twice. I said, I would be happy with being in just a fulfilling relationship, because then I would know that I'm staying not because of I'm bound legally, but
Mhm.
because I'm being treated well.
Mhm.
And this person came back, and I totally, even though my friends thought it was so offensive, but I respect blunt honesty because I'm bluntly honest.
Mhm. You
Now,
are.
granted, this gentleman, he was not my cup of tea at all. But in that moment, it wasn't for me to say, ew, I wouldn't never look at you no way. Because, that wasn't even the issue. But he said, well, if I was with you, I would definitely cheat on you for somebody more fit. And child, he was not my cup of tea, trust me. And so I just simply said in Mimi fashion, I said, well, if the bills is paid, I don't give a fuck what you do. We both had a little laugh, but my friends were like, oh my God, I don't believe he said that. I said, hey, that's his truth.
That's
And
his
it's okay. Just like I got a type, he looked a little delicate for me, for my taste.
not delicate, Mimi.
No, no, it's a little delicate. No facial hair, no, that's not my type.
Right.
It's just not.
Mhm.
But I, as a man, I respect him, and just like, but it's so funny because a lot of dudes, when they, I call themselves coming on to me and I don't like them, they just like, what? And I'm like, look, I can have a type too. Just because I'm not everybody's type, don't mean you ain't my type, you
Right.
know. But it's okay, and I respect it that conversation. But in that moment, I was like, wow. I said, I realized because it was a whole, because I started reading all of the comments
Mhm.
because he lives in Tyson's too, in the high rise. So he was showing all the white women, he said, see those women, they getting together for their husbands. All of them was white. And I'm not, I ain't got nothing against my light skinned cousins. But
Cousins.
the thing was, what I wanted to tell them, because I was reading a thread and all these black men were saying how black women have let themselves go. Like we don't care about our physical, like our weight and stuff like that. Hold up. I'm wrapping this up because I did a live about this morning. But I had an epiphany from that because what I was looking at was people like you saw the white women with the little baby carriages jogging, they walking in a circle, trying to keep their stuff up. But all of them was housewives. They ain't got no damn jobs. And not to say that homemakers do not work hard, because I know that you do, you
Mhm.
know. But they can put that in their day. But a lot of black women, we carry the brunt of the entire family on our backs. A lot of us are the head of the household. You know, we got to, we put everybody first. We're taking care of the kids. We
Mhm.
doing the cooking, and we doing the shopping, and we doing the bills, and then you try to factor in, because you really don't get no full night's sleep. You just taking it's a series of naps here and there. So a lot of times we don't um take that time to put us in our in our list of priorities.
Mhm.
Everybody else is first. So I had decided, when from, and it's just from that post, it was like it just clicked. I said, oh my God, I have all of this on physically, as a lot of black women do, where they looking at the weight, because we keep our, and I'm not talking about, we keep our hair and lashes and makeup and nails, and we always got on something cute no matter what size, because black women are fine, don't get it twisted.
Mhm.
But what I was gathering from that, a lot of us are carrying this weight that we carrying. It is mental and spiritual, the stuff that we carry, but it manifests physically. So when you look at that's with the layers of the, and you see fat, this is layers and layers and layers of pain
Hmm.
over the years, because the one constant that a lot of us have, and that's what with, and food was just a lot of our drug of choice. And that's just with somebody else that's on, that has a substance. It's consistent. It's going to do what you need it to do. In that moment, it's going to soothe you. It's going to comfort you. It's going to numb you.
So with that being said,
Yeah.
Mimi, I need you
Hmm.
to introduce your guest on tonight.
Okay.
We're talking about, does God really love me? Because I think this all goes coincide with that, and it will help. You've painted a picture that we can go into from this conversation. So
Oh
go ahead
yeah.
and introduce your guest.
Yeah. So my guest name is Kevin Banks. He is. I've known him for a number of years. He is my. He plays in the band with me. He's my keyboard player. Yes.
Okay.
Kevin is one of. He's a great person. A high moral standard. Good guy. Good solid guy. And Kevin is an atheist. And
Okay.
Kevin has, over the years, I see, different posts he puts up. And a lot of his stuff, he questions a lot of the Christianity, but it makes the questions valid.
Okay.
And I have not heard anyone, because a lot of the questions that he posed, I have as well.
Okay. So
So,
welcome, Kevin. How are you doing?
can you hear Kevin?
I can hear.
Okay,
I can't.
okay.
I can't. I can't hear Monty though.
Are you?
Oh, okay. Well, he said, how are you doing tonight, baby?
I'm good. How you doing, man? How you doing,
Oh,
Mimi? Long time no see.
I know, I know. Been seeing you through Facebook since
Yeah.
everybody been locked down. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
sorry about a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I was out of it. I was trying to get in, but I couldn't that night.
No, we don't need. I ain't need use in the hospital. I appreciate
Yeah,
the effort, but no, you need to get that together.
right.
I
So
still wanted to. I was trying to get in, but
I know,
I
but it's
couldn't
all
do
right.
it.
We
Yeah.
got it. We got it for tonight. So,
Okay.
so so Kevin, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Can Kevin hear me at all?
can you hear Monty at all?
No, I can see him, but I can't really hear him.
He
Okay.
said he can't hear you at all.
Okay. So this is what I want to happen then. I don't know why he can't hear me. So Mimi, I want you to orchestrate this conversation with him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna chime in, and you'll have to relay what I'm saying. I may log off and come back to see if
Log off and come back in because that's gonna get real interesting.
it is really gonna get
Okay,
in.
all right. I'll do that. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. So Kevin is gonna log off and come
Okay.
back.
All
So
right.
maybe it's his connection. I don't know. But
It
Mimi,
might because I hear
as
Kevin real
so,
good.
so I do too. I hear him very well. So let's go ahead and recap.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, we had my friend on here, Jason, who he was going to be on here tonight, but he's not feeling well. So we're asking for prayers for him. Um, so we had the conversation, does God really love me? And the reason why we were asking that conversation, why we sparked what sparked that conversation is um Melanie Morrow said her sound is messing up too. I don't know why, what's going on. So it may be us. I don't know. But well, listen, whatever it is, we're gonna keep going. Um, so I know on our conversation last week, you and I were just 2 weeks ago, we were discussing, does God really love me? And you had the questions why there's so many bad things that have happened throughout your life, so many bad things that have happened throughout my life, that
So many
we
bad
will
things that happen now. My
right,
son literally had a breakdown on Saturday because he was like, he said, why does all this stuff, bad stuff keep happening? Because my niece is in the hospital. She's
right.
probably not going to make it out. And we dealing with that. And her mother is just being, I don't know if this is grief. Well, I know her before, but I can't even blame it on grief. She's a bitter woman.
And I
And
get
her hate for my brother is bigger than her love for my
so,
niece. So yeah.
so I want to know, can you hear me now, sir?
I can hear you
Oh,
loud and
There we
clear.
wonderful.
go.
Good.
Okay.
So my question
Okay.
for you is tell me, does God love you? That's my question for you tonight. Do you feel like
Hmm.
God loves you?
You have to ask
Well,
him, do he believe there is a God?
Well, so then
well,
that's
my.
get to that. That's what's going to get to that. So let me ask you this. So Mimi's made me retract my question. So I'm going to retract my
Okay.
question. So my question is going to be is, do you believe that there is a God?
Well, my position on that is the case hasn't been proven that there actually is a God.
Okay.
Like, there's anecdotal evidence, but there's not sufficient evidence after 2,000 years that has ever proven that there is one. I'm willing to accept it if somebody comes through with sufficient evidence, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So you're willing to accept, but there has not been any evidence to prove that God really
Any
exists.
su- any sufficient evidence. That's
Any
it.
sufficient. So what does the
Yeah.
word sufficient mean to you?
Well, people always say anecdotal evidence. Like when I get in debates with people, they usually bring up a testimony that someone has said. That's fine, but if you're going to believe that, you have to believe people who have said I've been abducted by aliens and any other thing that you
Explain.
can claim, but you can't really explain. You have no physical evidence, you know.
So then let me go old school for you. Let me go old
Okay.
school. I'm going to take it to old school church and ask this question. Who woke you up this morning?
My alarm clock.
Your alarm clock. Who put breath in your body this morning?
I was breathing while I was sleeping.
Oh my God. So who provides a way of escape for you every day?
I'm my own escape. See, my thing is, okay, I'm explaining a lot of things. I grew up in the church.
Mhm.
Um, my mother is a avid preacher, well known. Um,
Stop. So what religion did you grow up under? What
I grew
denomination?
up seven day Adventist.
Okay, Seventh Day Adventist. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So I went to church on Saturday,
Okay.
just like Jewish people. So I grew up in the church. I went to church school, K through 12th, graduated, and but I always had questions. And I noticed growing up, every time I would question it, we would have Bible class every day in school.
Mhm.
And I would ask questions and they were never answered. They were
Mhm.
always met with hostility. I've even been to church and seen people kicked out because they were questioning things. It's almost like you
Mhm.
can't question things. And I don't
Yeah.
like that. Any truth can be questioned because it's the truth.
Uh, okay. Okay. So my thing is, and here we have Aunt Leslie Brown saying, he changed my life. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So then we see a statement like that. He changed my life.
Hmm.
What was your life like? Most people would say, well, what was your life like, Aunt Leslie? What was going wrong in your life? So my thing for you, it's Kevin, right? I want to get it right.
It's Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Kevin. So Kevin, my question for you is, with all these questions that you've had, no one has ever sat down to try to answer. Could that be some of the hostility? And I hate to use the word hostility, but could that be some of the questionable behaviors that you have now?
No, my
How about
issue,
tell me what's questionable
yeah,
behavior?
Because so like, for coming from a Christian standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
most
okay,
Christians would question his behavior, meaning you the and I'm this is not me.
No,
This is me
go
playing the
ahead.
devil's advocate. This is me
okay,
not to use the word devil, but this is me playing an advocate for how I know how people that I've encountered would question you.
Church
The
father.
the arrogance that you say, "Oh, I woke myself up this morning. The alarm clock woke me up. I was breathing when I went to sleep.
Mhm.
I'm my own. I'm my own way keeper. I'm my own." And to be able to use those type of words, one would say that was a behavior. So that's the reason why I'm saying. So is that what causes you to have? Because nobody's ever answered you, is that why you feel the way you feel?
no, the way I feel is because I actually read the Bible cover to cover,
Okay. And so in
and
reading,
that changed everything.
Same thing. I honestly, a lot of things that he feels, I felt as well.
okay.
Absolutely, and nobody has ever answered the question. And
Mhm.
normally, when you encounter, people, religious people, and you ask questions and they cannot answer them, you are met with hostility, and you are deemed as you are
Of the
being
devil,
rebellious,
yeah.
troublesome. Yeah, it's like, look, you don't question God. I'm like, why not? I can. Yes, I can.
Well, and then I come from a different, from now I was taught that you don't question God.
Right.
Hmm.
Whatever God says is that's what God says. But then oftentimes we hear what God is saying through man, or it's appeared to be what is being said is through man or female. So my thing in that is, in going to seminary, I was taught that it's okay to question God. It's okay to have questions because that's what conversation is about. That's what prayer is about. Prayer is not just going to God and saying, "Oh God, I need you to do this. God, I need you to make a way. Oh God, move right now." But then if God answers you back, can you not say, "Okay, so God, why not? Why are we here? Why am I going through this? Is it not okay?" It is okay to question God. Um, Monty, you can't make someone feel what they don't feel. And you're absolutely right, Miss Leslie. I'm not trying to change Kevin's feelings. I'm just really trying to have a conversation. I
Because
want,
I have, because I mean, to be clear, I have a lot of the same questions.
I mean, before we even started the show, I
Yeah.
told Kevin, me and Kevin was backstage, and I was like, now look, it's unfair because it's two against one tonight, but I'm gonna hold my
No,
own, you know.
this the thing. This
No,
the
no.
difference.
Joe, it
Now
was
this
Yeah,
is the
I'm
difference.
not gonna knock. I'm not gonna knock anybody. If
Yeah,
you're a
and I
believer,
don't like anybody either,
believe.
but
I'm gonna
I
hold you.
believe.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
right.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
believe. I believe there is a higher power,
Okay.
but the
Hmm.
Jesus and all the stories, and
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. And
So,
then when I mean, just like I had the questions last time, and I sit with my son. All of my sons have different parts of my personality, but my son Malik, he thinks the way I think.
mhm,
And he came to me and he asked valid questions. And because I'm honest with my kids to a fault. And I said, I can't answer them because I don't know myself. Because he asked question number one. He said, if he said that all of us come from Adam and Eve. I said, well, that's what the word says. He said, well, if everybody's getting married, and how are we not all related? Is that not incest? And I'm just like,
I
well,
mean,
I'm just saying. You got. I'm talking about these.
Yeah.
These are questions like, how do we get the Mongolian people and the Asian people and the Indian people and and black people and white people?
mhm,
How do we get all of these different folks? In different parts of the world with all these different cultures and languages and all these things. And then when Noah's Ark was built, all those
mhm.
animals, none of those animals are U.S. animals. All those animals are animals off of the continent of Africa. So where did
Yeah.
all these other animals come from? I mean, it's all of
And
these
yeah.
questions that nobody can answer. And then I
And
remember,
why didn't the
okay,
carnivorous animals eat the other animals?
Hmm.
You only
it,
have so many animals trying to get off the boat, so why didn't the lions attack the gazelles or they're
you
hungry? They've
can
been
see
on the
all the
boat.
animals just looking like, damn, we on this boat. We escaped
Mhm.
from the rain.
Why didn't the plants that were submerged by water for about a year, why didn't they die? They're
Well,
underwater. How are they growing?
so then one would
Where did
say,
all that water go?
why did I not die when I was in a car wreck when others have died from minute wrecks or from smaller issues? Those would be the questions that we would come back at. So why am I still here whenever I have high blood pressure, but then somebody that has never been diagnosed has had a heart attack from high blood pressure, and theirs was uncontrollable, but mine is controllable. Then why was I molested, but then why was my brother not?
Yeah.
So then we have all
And
those
so it looks
questions.
like why these got these folks that's rich and these are poor. Does God love this set of people
Yeah,
more than he
yeah.
loves this set?
God sees,
Or
he
is it
supposedly sees
because,
all of this.
God
like
does.
Kevin
So,
says,
so
like
God
he said,
does see all.
you
God
ask
does
him,
see all.
it could be one works harder than the other. That's why they got this.
What?
But
Can I
I
can I
mean,
ask you a question, Monty?
You can ask me whatever you want to, sir.
All
mhm.
right, I got a question for you. If
Okay,
you
I'm
were
gonna
God,
listen. If
if
I was,
you were God,
mm,
and you were looking down and you seen homeless, hungry kids,
mhm,
couldn't eat, going to bed hungry every night, Would you fix that?
Mm, would I fix it?
Yeah, would you fix it? Because you clearly have the power to. You created this entire cosmos, supposedly, because you spoke it into existence.
I spoke it.
So you should be easily able to feed these kids.
Mm.
Would you?
So, because you've asked me the question, I've been taught in seminary that I'm going to answer your question.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
not going to differentiate from your question. I'm going to answer your question. The answer
Okay.
to your
All right.
question would be I would fix it. I would fix it. Now, if you allow me to dig deeper and say why I would fix it, then I would tell you why I would fix it. The reason why I would fix it is because I've been hungry before. I know what it feels like to be hungry. I've seen people that have been hungry before, and and even tonight, I was leaving the store, and this man, I was walking by the liquor store, and I was leaving the store, and this man said, "Hey, brother, can you spare a couple of dollars?" And you know what? When I got in my car, I didn't have any cash. I really, really did not. All I had was my card, and so it hurt me because I did not have any cash to give to that man. So when you're asking me this question, would I fix it? Of course, I would fix it. Now, I don't understand why God has not fixed it yet. I don't understand why God has not fixed a lot of situations in my life and why I have to suffer and I have to deal with some of the stuff that I have to deal with, and why I was in a season of saying okay for the last 2.5 years. God gave me specific instructions just to say okay. And now that I hear you saying this to me and saying, would you fix it? Then it sparks questions in my mind saying, God, why have you not yet fix what you told me to say okay to? So I get it. I hear you. And so my response to your question was, yes, I would fix it. Do I believe that God will fix it in due time? I do. Do I know when that time is? I don't. I've often heard that God is an on time God, that God will provide whenever God sees fit to provide. But I have questions just like you. When is on time? When is my time? When does it come? When is my season? When do I find the favor that people get up and speak about and say that, oh, favor ain't fair? I hear you. I do. I hear you. And I wish that I could provide an answer to you. But all I know is, Kevin,
Hmm.
all I know, all I know is that I trust God with everything that I got. Everything that I have, I trust God. And is it that because my mind has been conditioned to trust a higher power? No, it's not.
I
Not anymore. Not anymore for me.
see
Not anymore.
that's where I
Not
because
anymore.
yeah.
Not
Uh,
anymore. Because if in the beginning, Mimi, I will honestly say to you, I would honestly say to you, I served a God that was given to me to serve. I
Mm-hmm.
did. I served a God that was given to me to serve. But that God that what I was given to serve did not like gay people. That God that I was given to serve said it was okay for people to mishandle me and to abuse me, and that I couldn't speak back, that I couldn't question God. That was the God that I was handed. However, over life and through this experience that I've had with my own God, the personal experience that I've had with God has changed my opinion about the God that I was served to serve, the God that was given to me to serve. I don't
Okay.
know that God. The God that I know loves Lamont and who I am, my full, authentic gay self. God loves me. That's the God that I've come to know. So, I mean, I can't change people's opinion of me. I can't change people's opinion of God. I just want to have a conversation because there are so many other people that are struggling with the God that they've been given to serve. And
Yes.
so, like
Yes.
you can, I believe that the questions that you have is for the God that you were given to serve. That's how I believe. This Seventh Day Adventist religion that was forced down your throat, that you were told that you have to go to, that you couldn't ask any questions for. You have questions for that God. Mimi, the God that you went to, the God that you were going to church to, and the God that they told you, oh, God don't want this, or God don't want this, or God loves this, or God doesn't like this, and favor ain't fair. That's the God that you have questions with.
Child, I done left that God a long time ago. But that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah. I'm going. I don't have them questions. Them questions gone
Yeah,
because I don't believe
no,
they're questions for any God.
but this is the thing. Like what my son is, this is, I mean, and this is really valid stuff. My son
Very
just on
valid.
Saturday, he came crying as I
Mhm.
heard them having a heated discussion. I'm getting ready
Okay.
for a pop-up shop. They in the kitchen having a heated discussion, and I hear my middle son hit the counter. And he's a, he's a hefty little guy, so he's heavy-handed. So I heard him hit the counter. So I called him back, and he's crying. He just bust out crying, and I said, "What's wrong?" And he was upset about my niece. Um, and he said, "What kind of God is this that everybody?" Because my mother was trying to get them to go to this church with her church the next day, and he said, "I don't like it when people try to make me do stuff I don't want to do." And I said, "I don't like that either." I said, "So you don't have to go, you
Mhm.
know." So that's the talk that sparked the conversation. He said, "But this God," he said, "God didn't even bear the brunt of the people for himself." This is what my son said. He said, "God chickened out. He
Mm.
created his son and sent him down to be abused by everyone. Nobody liked him. And then everybody just killed him. He's supposed to die for our sins." He said, "Now, this is supposed to be an all powerful God. Why did he send somebody to die?"
I
Mm.
didn't even think of that.
Because he said he's not even, he said he was a coward because
Mm.
he didn't do it himself. Now, what do you say to a
Wow.
12-year-old that has that question? I mean, for real. And I'm not, and this is the thing, I'm not one to just because, and if I'm being totally honest, I believe in a higher power because I'm scared not to.
Okay.
Because how I was brought up, it's like the stuff doesn't make sense, but I'm scared to not have this covering
Why are you scared?
because that's what I was taught. So that's how that's how I know how powerful it is when everybody, because everybody keeps talking about this God, and like I said, the favor ain't fair and all of that, and Jesus, you know, he sent himself, and what I hear the preacher say, he wrapped himself in himself and came down to earth, and yeah,
That's the whole
how they
song.
do,
He
they get
wrapped himself in himself.
all up in
Yeah.
it. But I said that don't make sense.
So then this is my thing.
But what I'm saying is we've been conditioned. This is what we've been taught since birth. So it's very hard to leave something
What are
that
you scared
you've
of?
been that you have been put in. I can't tell you.
Are you
Kevin,
scared of hell?
No, because I don't believe honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that in either one.
Okay.
I think I think we live in hell right now.
wow.
you know,
Right.
because the
Right.
way I look at it, it's like, and this is if this is what folks are peddling, this is not a strong recruiting speech for church when you say, well, you
Yeah.
just got to, when you die, everything that you ever wanted you gonna get. I'm like, I got to wait till I'm dead to get my rich. Like, nah, why can't you have
Yeah.
something now?
I want my
Oh,
heaven now.
Yeah, I'm speaking for all those that that might not be able to articulate what they feeling. And honestly, I feel that way. I said, so I got to, because I mean, and just like we talked 2 weeks ago, the a lot of the Muslims, that's strapping bombs to themselves
Mm-hmm.
because they've been taught is that when you sacrifice yourself for Allah, you gonna get 14 virgins. What
Yeah,
man don't want
72.
that? You
I
know,
want those.
well, no, you don't because well, you know, I ain't gonna get right, but we know that ain't your thing. But what I'm saying is when you've been taught something and you are marinated in it for your entire life,
Mhm.
it's hard for you to go and think any other way. It's just the way I think I've never been one to go with what everybody else thinks.
And
I've
you
always
shouldn't
been an
have
independent
to.
thinker.
You should
No,
have
I
to.
know, but what I'm saying is when people cannot answer your questions, they get angry and they just shut you out. And
And
that's
so,
Yeah,
that's
so
what's
yeah.
this is
happened
my
in
thing.
a
This is
lot
this
of
is
church.
my thing on tonight. I don't want to
Mhm.
shut anybody out. And so by when you said that, oh, my son said that God was a coward, I ain't gonna lie to you. A part of me cringed, and I was like, oh my God.
I know,
But then here's this other
because you
part.
in the God business.
So here's this other part of me that says, oh wait. Because why did God not come down? Why did God not do it himself? Why did not God do it herself? Or why did not God just be God in the moment and just handle the situation? I get it. And I understand the questions. And so for 11-year-old, 12-year-old, he's 12, right?
Well,
He's 12. For a 12-year-old to say, that's a coward way of handling it, to letting somebody else to step in
do your dirty work.
and do your dirty work for you rather than you do it yourself. Then to me, those are questionable offenses. Now, is it okay to question God? Yes, it is. Absolutely. I wish I had an answer to give Malik on tonight, but I don't. All I can say is, for God so loved the world. God said, I love the world enough that I'm going to give all I got. And all I got is my only son. This is all I got. I'm giving it to the world. I'm going to sacrifice my son. Now, will people look at me like you looking at me now, Mimi, and say, so what the hell? Why did you give your son? Why couldn't you give yourself? Why did your son have to sacrifice? Why did your son have to die? Why did this and this? And then I go back to what you said to me. There is no love like a mother's love. There is no love like
Right.
that. You love your child. When you love your child, when you love your child,
Yeah,
you
'cause if I was God, y'all just be damned to hell. I'm not getting my damn baby.
see, 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 see,
Yeah,
see,
right.
see. And so then Leslie says she has an answer for Malik, and I
Okay.
don't.
Get ready because he gonna question you back.
So my thing is the Bible says that the Bible that has been translated by several people, that has been transcribed and
And
transcribed and
it has
changed
been
and
the
changed.
Bible been stepped on more than dope.
Right. And you're absolutely right. I will not take
Hmm.
that away from you, because most, and then this is the thing that kills me about the Kojic background. They go by the King James version, but King James was a homosexual. He practiced homosexual tendencies. So this is the Bible that we use to condemn homosexuals. But
But
that's
it's so
the
many, but it's so many things in it. Just like me and Leslie is going to do a comedy. She's a comedian, so she's going to do her set in December, and she said, I don't want to curse. I said, what? And
only.
she said it's in the word. She said and it was a verse that she brought up.
What's up, Deja,
And
babe?
huh?
Oh, Deja was speaking. I said, "What's up, Deja,
Oh,
babe?"
yeah. And it was the way that she read the scripture. It was like to not curse man, but I was like, that don't mean curse words. And see, that's the other thing. It's
Mhm.
open for interpretation. Because I
It-
didn't get what she got. I said I ain't hear nothing about no curse words. It's like cursing is, telling somebody they gonna die or they gonna, something bad gonna happen to them. That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So it's like it's so many interpretations, and my questions have always been, who's right? Is the Quran right? Is the Bible right? Are the Buddhists right? I mean, who is right?
So then, you know what? My thing is that comes back to your own personal relationship with your higher power.
Hmm.
I had a conversation with a chaplain on yesterday. And so the question was given to me: if you walked into a house where someone was dying and all they liked to do was play to watch football. That's all they wanted to do was watch sports, and all they wanted to do. And so the family was then questioning, was this person saved? How would you check and see if they had a relationship with God? And so my response in that moment would be, hey, and this is what I told the chaplain. My response was, who is the referee in this game that you're playing called life? Who is the referee to you? Do you call the referee God? Do you call the referee higher power? What do you call that referee? Or do you just call it a referee? Do you have a relationship outside of yourself with someone that you feel that has authority over your life? I can't make you call him God or her God, but what I can say, there is a higher power. So how do you relate to the higher power? Is it a referee, or who's calling the game that we're walking in now called life? Who is orchestrating that for you? And the chaplain responded to me and said, I like that analogy because you did not come in and say, God, this, God, this, God, this. But what you did was related to where the person was right now. And I believe that's my ministry, is to be able to relate to where people are right now in this moment. Just as Kevin
Hmm.
has said, hey, you know what? I got questions, and I hear you, Kevin. But the whole time that I've been watching Kevin, Kevin been had a guitar in his hand the whole time. He been played a couple of chords since he been on here. He has done a couple of things. He has fingered through some music since he's been on here. So my question for Kevin would be, who is the musical director in your life? Who's directing the music in your life? What we call life? And Kevin responds, me. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. So my question would be, Mimi, who is the orchestrator in your life right now? Who orchestrates what happens with Mimi?
I don't know.
Mimi orchestrates what happens with Mimi. Her decisions. That's why people have different outcomes. Everything predicates on the
Now that
decisions in life.
I can't
You can
argue.
go, you can make a left or make a right.
Hmm.
I can agree with that because this is the thing. Where I look at, it's a lot of folks, that I know that's in the church,
Mm-hmm.
and they sitting and praying
Mm-hmm.
for financial blessing.
Mm-hmm.
They praying.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But they ain't got no job.
Mm.
So I really believe that's up to you. That's up to the individual. I really do. I
So
don't I don't me personally, I don't think that's something that um that happens from above. It's like I believe that you get what you put out.
okay, so
I
then
do.
there is a scripture in the Bible.
Hmm.
It's in James 2 actually, and it says, faith without works is dead. So is that
Hmm.
what you're saying? That you can have faith, but if you're not putting forth the work, then everything you're praying for is dead because you then have to work with God in order to make it work.
But you know what's not dead?
What's not dead?
Works.
Works. So, but
That
can
other that other part you really don't need. And at one point in my life, I thought I needed it. I was right with you, bro. I thought I was gonna be doing the pastor thing and doing all that, but
Mhm.
after I read the Bible, and since my mother is a speaker, and I know in the Bible, see, in the Seventh Day Adventist religion, at that time, a woman wasn't allowed to be ordained
Hmm.
because of scripture in the Bible. See, it's all in how you interpret the Bible. You go to this church, they interpret it one way. You go to another church, they interpret that same
Scripture
verse
a whole nother way.
a whole nother way. So, and so they kept her down, and that. I don't know if she noticed, but I watched that. That was real big on my life. Like, she's a great speaker, always traveling across the world speaking, but couldn't be ordained for some time. So
Wow.
I always question that. And in the Bible it says women should not teach men in the church. It says that. So
So why was that said in the Bible? Why was that said?
Why was it?
Why was
uh,
it?
uh,
So then if
yeah,
we
yeah.
dig,
Why was it?
so if we dig
Because as
deeper,
easily as it was said, it could have been unsaid. Just like slavery, how I feel like the Bible endorses
Yeah.
slavery. God
so
could have said, "Don't own slaves." He could have just said that, just like he said, "Don't eat shellfish, pork, all that stuff." He could have said, "Don't own slaves."
but so then that goes back to what Mimi said. The Bible has been stepped on worse than dope. It's been stepped on so many times. So is
Badly.
it our
Mhm.
interpretation? Maybe God did say that, but then the way it's been interpreted over the years, it has been an oppressive behavior to oppress those that it wanted those people to fall victim
Well,
of.
can I ask both of y'all a question then?
Sure.
Why should one believe the Bible?
I don't.
So my thing with the Bible, it is basic instructions before leaving in earth.
But it's
Leaving
not basic. It
basic,
ain't basic.
basic.
It's a basic
Yeah, it's really not basic.
contradiction.
It's very
It's a
confusing,
long
and
contradiction.
I thought that I thought God was not the author of confusion, but that book right there has caused
What you
so
mean?
much confusion in
It
in
has
in the
caused
world.
confusion. And so could it be that it's not, and I'm not going to say could it be, but I'm going to go ahead and stand steadfast to this and say a lot of our confusion comes from the interpretations of the Bible. There are a lot of pastors that are guilty of misrepresenting what God really wants from people. That and I stand fast to that because just the other day I was watching TikTok and there was a pastor that got up and said, and these were his words, and I found it to be very appalling. And I was just like, how disgusting for someone to get up in a pulpit and the people was like, hallelujah, yes, yes, yes. But he got up there and he said, so, for all of you women that have men, that have boys, your boys are in danger and when you bring them to church. Now, I agree with that because anytime that you have any child, they're in danger when you bring them around a group of people. So, I can get with that. And so then he said, the pastors used to chase women. He said they used to chase women, but now they chasing the boys. He said so they used to do what was right, but now they doing wrong. And so my thing is, so
What?
it's he says, and what he said was, it's not okay to be a homemonger in the church or to chase women. But he came back and said, but it was natural to run after a woman, but it's unnatural to run after a man. So, what you're saying in that same moment over your pulpit, it's saying that it's okay to chase women. It's okay. That's natural. That's the natural instinct. But whenever a man starts chasing a little boy, then oh, it's wrong. That's just unnatural. That's
But
wrong.
you already know
Oh,
it's a lot of
it's so
heterosexual
wrong.
preachers that would not, they would not sit on the panel with you.
Oh, I know. I
Yeah.
know. Your friend is one of them. And
Yeah.
I've deliberately tried to, to invite her. I've gone through you, and I've gone through you to say, to invite her on here because my thing with that is for
Hmm.
a woman that has been oppressed, as Kevin testified to, as he attests to, and saying that how his mother had traveled the world and she has been a great speaker, but for it took forever for her to be ordained. So here it is, one of your friends, Mimi, and I have
Hmm.
a problem with that. That one of your friends has a problem just because I'm ordained to be a reverend and because I practice homosexuality. Not that I practice, but I live in my truth as being a true
But
homosexual. She has a problem with that. So she won't get on here and publicly tell me that she has a problem with me, but then she'll privately say, and she'll privately condemn me, but she won't say that she has a problem with me. But here it is, a woman that
She hasn't condemned you.
no,
She
no,
ain't
no.
condemned
She
you.
does. She does for her to even question my authority to operate in the church, to say that
Okay.
I'm an ordained reverend. She
Yeah.
does condemn me because
Okay.
then she's finding fault in who God has called me to be. But
But
then
it's a lot. But I mean, but the thing is, it's a lot. It's a lot of people.
oh, it's a
Not
lot.
even yeah,
It's a
and
lot. I have
but that's the
families.
thing. You
I
can't.
have
There's a lot
families.
of people that I already know that's looking at me sideways, like, oh,
Mhm.
she questioning God. Oh,
Oh yeah. I
mm-mm.
mean, I know this whole
Yeah,
story.
I'm already going through it.
I mean, I know
I
this
I
mean,
whole
don't.
it's
story
okay because
as
God,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't always flown solo, so it's okay.
and you know
yeah,
what's
right.
both of you, I was thinking, I was like over here, I was like, oh my God, who can I get on here to help me, help me defend God? And then I had this epiphany.
You don't need
Right, right,
no
right.
help.
And
We
you know
just
what?
having a
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah,
Right.
you don't need
Because
help.
honestly,
Yeah.
it's
We're
like
having a
I'm
conversation.
in the middle.
And so I was sitting here and I was just like, Lord, I know enough about you and I know how I feel about you. And so if I can't say how I feel about you, that's a problem. That's a problem for me. It ain't I don't need anybody to get on here and to help me defend who I say God is to me because that's
Yeah,
my own personal
you got
relationship.
our Leslie on there. She in the comments strong. She holding it down in the
Yeah,
comments.
I
You,
hear
you know, I'm. If you go to church and you're a believer, I don't try to knock that at
I
all.
don't know
I
nobody,
try
but
to
I do
encourage
because I
you.
do
I
my
try to
question.
encourage you to go to church.
mhm.
If you're gonna believe it, I need you to walk that walk.
Walk the walk. And so what does that walk look like? So Kenneth,
It's whatever you believe. I want you to follow it. I really do. Like, okay, case in point. The other day, some Mormons came to my house, and they knocked on the door, and I was hesitant and answered the door. I was like looking up. I looked at the security camera. I couldn't really see him, so I eventually opened the door, and it was three white guys, and they were like, "Hi, we're from the Church of Latter Day Saints, and
oh,
uh,
hallelujah.
we yeah we want to talk to you about Jesus Christ." And I was like, politely, I declined. I was like, "No, thank you." And they was like, "Okay, we see you later." I shut the door. My my girlfriend is a CME. She goes to the CME church. Abbott.
Okay, okay.
I shut the door. She's whole attitude. Whole attitude. Like, why they at the door? Why they better not come back to the door? I'm looking at her like, at one time in my life, when I was a believer, I would have debated them. I would have been all out on the porch getting hot with them. But now I don't do all that. You believe what you believe.
You
I'm
believe
not
what
going
you
to debate you. I'm not going to debate you. Just believe it. But that little interaction between two sects of Christians, one CME, one Mormon, and that point, they're kind of witnessing to me. Like I got in a little disagreement with her. I was like, well, what if that was God? Because I know how to talk to people who go to church. I was like, what if that was God sending angels to your front door and you just turned them away? You got a whole attitude. What if that was a whole test? You just
so
failed it.
wait, Kevin. Not you. Not you
Yeah.
going to what if that was God that I was
He
in a
just
church?
said he did it for argument's sake
He
because
did
he
it
got
for
Yeah,
argument's
yeah,
he
sake.
got
because
some angry.
this is what you believe. This
This
is
is
Yeah,
what
what
you
you
believe.
believe. If you're not going to believe it, why are you doing it? Why are you in church for 25, 30 years and you the same way as when you came in? There should be a change at some point. Why don't you know more of the Bible than you do and you've been there for 30, 40 years? And you know the same two scriptures that the pastor keep telling to you.
The same.
Read,
You know
study,
what?
study the book. Study the book.
No,
Study the book.
apply 'em. There's a whole lot of folks that notice they know more scripture than they can live by.
You know,
They know certain scripture. They don't know.
Oh, and
They
yeah.
know.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't
they pick
know
and choose. Oh,
all
yeah.
the book.
so
They got some quotes. What things form, no weapon formed to get me against me shall prosper.
yeah.
Everything has prospered against the black man, black woman. Everything,
Yes, Lord. That's and
everything.
that's and that's been a
Slavery
question I had
prospered.
too. Because I had a
Jim,
pastor tell me we're the chosen people. I said, chosen to do what? I
So
be
said, if we
slaves.
chosen, I don't want to be chosen no more. Let,
Yeah, yeah,
let,
right.
let somebody else do it.
Don't it seem like in the Bible that when you're the chosen one, you get dragged through the mud? Like,
yeah,
don't choose me. I'm good. I'm
yeah.
good.
I'm
Don't
good
choose.
where I am.
I'm gonna tell you the biggest one that I got a problem with. Now we talked about this 2 weeks ago. The story of Job.
Okay. Yeah. Oh
Everybody,
my God.
when you go through something, they say, "Well, Job, the God took everything he had, killed his kids, and I said, and I would have said, fuck God, I'm not
But
serving you.
God
Oh,
didn't
oh,
That's what
say
I would
over,
have said.
over a bet. Over a bet.
But this my
Pretty
thing.
much.
That's kind of like what? That's kind of sadistic to me.
so.
How
Let's be
you want to
clear.
just take one person and you like I didn't gonna go do something. I'm gonna see what he gonna do. That you
You know,
Yeah.
plan to no,
so
that's what it is. But then they say, but he restored them. He gave them more kids. But this my thing. I got 3 kids now. You can't kill my kids and then give me another one. And I'd be like, all
Yeah.
right, well, I got another one for the up. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So
double
this is what
penetrate.
these are the things. And I know I ain't crazy. This
Not
I
crazy.
know I can't be the only one thinking like this.
You're not.
And if I am, God bless us. I mean, God help us all. Whatever God you serve, whatever God.
I believe
Because
that
that's what we
God would
quote
want
a
you to
lot of
think.
times on Leslie, and the Bible is Job.
I
Anytime
believe
you
that
go through
God would want you
something,
to think.
anytime you go through something, you start going through trial, stuff just starts piling up against you. Folks be like, well, what about Job? I'm like,
So
well,
let
what
me say this,
about Job?
Mimi. Well, let me clarify some things. Whenever the devil went to Satan, when Satan went to God and said, who, who can I try? Who do you say that would not denounce that you are God? Then he said, oh, you can try my servant Job, because he had enough faith in Job to know that Job would not give in. Now, listen to me. Listen to me.
That's twisted.
It is
It
very
is.
important.
Yeah.
And I have issues with the commentary. I have issues with the whole thing with Job. But the Bible says that God did not do, God allowed Satan to test Job. So it wasn't God that killed the kids. It wasn't God that did this,
He
but God,
let him kill him.
he allowed. And so God
So
said,
allowed means you,
long as long as you don't take his life, as long as you don't take
but
his
you
life,
don't take
you will
everybody else
ever,
life
you will
around him.
But if you allow somebody to kill someone, that means you had the power to stop that,
it
and you
does.
didn't.
And
And
he
that and
he
that
took
and that's where
responsibility.
that goes with me as well, Kevin, with these kids that's getting, raped,
Well,
molested.
I hear you,
Yeah, and
Mimi.
God sees all of that
My
and
thing,
does
make a hard. You
nothing.
ain't even gotta strike them down. Make a hard dig limp. Make them fall out when they about to do something. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I
And I'm
hear
not even
you.
trying to be funny. I'm dead ass serious.
So let me say this. Let me say this. I don't want it to be a situation to where all Christians feel condemned in this moment. Because I will say that my godmother, Maudine Parker, I'm gonna call her name. Her name is Maudine Parker, Sister Maudine Parker. She's well in her 80s. And Sister Parker, she's my godmother, and she would teach Sunday school. She would teach YPWW, which stands for Young People Willing Workers, and everything. As I was brought up in the Kojic background, and so she would always teach all these things. And so whenever I married a man, I felt like that she would be the first person that would come and condemn me. I did. I felt like it was going to be my godmama. I felt like she was going to disown me. I felt like she was going to be the person that just really, really attacked me spiritually, because she would always call me her little preacher boy. She knew that I was called to be a preacher. And so she would always say those things. And she still says those things to me. And so whenever she came back and she said to me, I'm proud of you, that right there changed my life. Because here it is this woman, Sister Parker, had cancer. She had cancer, Mimi. And I'm going to tell you, she had cancer and they had given her up. This woman went to church every day and she said God told her to pray every day. And she prayed and she prayed and she prayed and she prayed until God healed her from cancer. She was scheduled to die. She was scheduled to die and she did not die because God still had his hands on her life. So that's her testimony.
But
But for this woman,
so what make her different from? And this is the question.
mhm,
This is what I'm saying, and I'm not taking away from her experience.
mhm.
But what about those that don't, those babies that don't know how to pray?
You know what?
They
And I
don't.
hear you. I hear you. So while I was locked up, because there's no secret that I've had a past, and while I was locked up,
We
she
all
prayed for
have.
me. And I called her. I would call her, and she would listen to me. She would pray with me. But whenever I married a man, for this woman to say to me, baby, I'm proud of you for standing in your truth. And she said, God is still going to use you. For me to hear it from her meant the world to me. And for her still to support my ministry the way that she does, it means the world to me. And so my thing is, what I'm trying to say is everybody does not believe like everybody believes, like everybody's been taught. This woman is well in her 80s and she don't wear no pants. She wears skirts down to her ankles, still wear her pantyhose, won't put on no makeup, and all of these things. But yet and still she can say to me, I'm proud of you and I'm glad that you are walking in your authentic self and that God is still using you. And I'm proud of that. So, what I'm trying to say to people is there is still room for change for everybody. The God that we have been conditioned to love, the God that we have been forced to respect, that same God that we've been told that, favor isn't fair, or the same God that we say that won't ordain women, or that same God that says that we don't like hoes or homongers or whatever, is still in the business of changing people. And so your question is, what about those people that don't know how to
My
pray?
question now is, well, what's the other God doing? What he doing or
Which
she?
which God?
You said the God that we've been conditioned to serve, so I'm like, with the other one, the
Yeah,
real,
right.
what they doing?
So then my personal thing is that's your own personal God, your relationship with that God. I don't have
Okay.
any respect for the God that I was conditioned to love, because that God never loved me.
But see, my
So
whole thing about that is like what is a personal relationship with God? What does that mean? Okay,
how do you have a
what
relationship with a
what does
God
that
that you don't even trust to,
like
because
like
you don't know what the hell he doing?
So how do you have a
Like you
relationship?
can't question the God. You
Yeah.
can't question the God.
You
You don't.
can.
You supposedly. Oh, some can. Some say you can. Some say you can't. You supposedly can't think
Oh,
for
right.
this God. You don't know how God thinks because He works in mysterious ways. So, but everybody's speaking for God. But yet, I don't feel like God is saying anything. I
So
just
then
hear a lot of people speaking.
so then that's a God that we've been conditioned to love. So my response to that is my response to the personal relationship is just like a personal relationship you have with your girlfriend. That relationship that you have with, nobody can step into that relationship because that's a relationship that you have with her. Whatever understanding that you two have is the understanding that you two have. Nobody else can speak into that. Her mama can't speak into that. Her daddy can't speak into that. Her kids can't speak into that. If she
But
has kids,
I can see her. I
you
can
can
talk to
see.
her. I can hold her. I can feel her. We can have conversations. This God is almost like, to me, someone saying, I got a personal relationship with Bigfoot or Santa Claus
Not
or something like
Bigfoot.
that. And then when people, my problem with religion is this: I don't mind you believing it, but when you start legislating laws based on this belief that
Mhm.
can't be proven, and it starts affecting things.
I
I have a
totally
real issue with that
I totally agree with you because I
because
have
you could want the world to come to quote unquote Armageddon, and you could have your finger on the button, and you want to usher it in because you believe that this ushering in of Armageddon will open the clouds of glory and Jesus will return. And so you want to push the button, all because this is what you believe. So
so
beliefs
totally
affect others.
I totally agree with you, Kevin. I totally agree with you whenever when you're saying that the fact that people will dictate who God is or how people dictate what God does and how they can say, "Oh, well, God doesn't like this or God doesn't like this." I get that. I understand all of that. And so like Linda is saying, my mom taught us never to question God, so sometimes I have to catch myself. I think it's okay to
Hmm.
question God, but then I go back to the traditional belief system. That's what we've been conditioned to believe. Just like slaves were conditioned to believe, obey those that have rule over you. They were conditioned to believe that. And they thought
No,
that
they
that
didn't
meant
want to die.
right
Yeah,
because
many
they
of them died crying out for Jesus.
and then here it is. We as Black people, we as Christians don't want to die crying out to a God that has been served to us to serve, that has been handed to us to serve, to say that, oh, I don't want you to find fault in me. Oh, I don't want to be a homosexual because I don't want to go to hell. Oh, I don't want to be a hoe because I don't want to go to hell. Oh, I don't want to say this because I don't want to go to hell. And that's the way we've been conditioned. So I think that a lot of it comes back from traditional learning in the church. It comes from an oppressive behavior that a pastor or someone that has been given authority to stand into a pulpit and to condemn those and say this and this and this about that person, but they live a private lifestyle. I have problems with the church because most men that get up and say, oh, homosexuality is wrong, those are the same men that are reaching out, or those are the same men that want to suck dick. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's
I get you, but and I get you about the homosexual piece because we can't relate because we ain't homosexual. So I understand why you
so.
so.
So let
Well,
me
I'm just saying I understand why you passionate about that. But
let me
as
say
a
this.
whole,
So let me say this piece. So then the same pastors that get up there and say, oh, it's wrong to be a hoe or it's sin is sin, but then for someone that can identify as being overweight, that can
yeah,
say, oh, gluttony is a sin. But they don't say that. They don't talk about that piece because
right.
they focus on what they want to focus on. If you look
Yes.
at most churches will focus on what they want to focus on in order to draw in a crowd.
That's
Whatever those
most because
people
they in the church, they in this business.
as
They got a demographic that they got to bring in to bring in
so
that money.
So I know what Kevin is about without even knowing Kevin because Kevin had his guitar out. Kevin is all about music. You had already announced that Kevin is your keyboard player, but Kevin is all about music. He
Me
had his guitar
too.
there the whole time, you know, and so he had his whole good he had the guitar out, and
Right.
so he was playing through chords the whole time. So we know that that is what his life is about. So if a pastor was playing on Kevin's mind, then he would say, oh, so whenever you're playing for the devil, whenever you're playing the devil's music, then it won't work for you. Then now he's condemning Kevin, but and then his way of recouping Kevin would be to say, but as long as you do what God has called you to do, the talent that you have that God has given you, as long as you use it to edify God, then you're okay. Meaning, Kevin coming to church and play for the church.
I
That's
Right,
understand. I don't think,
right,
but I
right,
think that
exactly.
would have to be for a person that is not an independent thinker,
right.
because you can't. What I'm saying though, a pastor can't come to me and twist shit around to me, because I think for myself. I have a mind of my own. You got to make this shit make sense. And it doesn't. And that's the whole conversation. And that's my standpoint, period. That's what I stand on. None of this makes sense. None
So
of it.
so
And
so then
nobody can make it make sense.
so then what they
And
do
folks
is
always say, well, you got to have your personal relationship. With who?
Yeah.
I
what they
don't
do
know.
so
Because
what they
my
do
mother
is
taught me,
Mimi,
I come from, hold up. My dad grew up Seventh-day Adventist. My mother grew up Catholic.
Oh,
Okay. So then you got, so those are two different religions. Then we got Jehovah Witnesses, we got the Mormons, we got Kojic, we got Holiness, we got the Baptist.
apostolic.
Who,
Scientology.
that's the thing. Who's right? And that's my big question. Everybody is going about this thing. Who is right?
So then
And
I
no,
Right.
the
Yeah.
Muslims. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
so
How
Kojic
do you
would
know if he's serving the right God?
so
You
Because
know,
I
Kojic
would
would
because
hate
you
to
say
could be
be like
wrong.
your godmother, 80 years plus doing something, and then you get wherever you going and you find out it was a sham.
so
Ain't
then
shit you can do.
Kojic would say, I know that the Bible is right and somebody is wrong. That's what they would come back and say to you, that the
Yeah, and I
Bible
would
is
tell
right.
them, you full of the same thing I would say to most church folks. Y'all full of shit.
So then let me tell you how this works, Mimi. And let me tell you the mentality of the church and those that have pimp mentalities. See, look, Kevin getting his guitar again because that's his
Oh,
pimp.
honey, when I tell you that I done been, this is what a lot of people don't know about me. I have been marinated in it.
But can I
I have
just
Yeah.
sung
Yeah, buddy.
behind the biggest gospel singers
can I
that
just
come
say
through this. I done been that everybody's. I done seen all the. I see what y'all see when y'all out in the congregation getting all filled up and hyped up, and I've been behind the scenes to see the whole plan, because that's all the fuck it is. It's game.
so can I just say it? So like when people what people will do, what pastors normally do, is they get in the pulpit and then they start condemning a group of people. Those people that are in the congregation, which may not consist of you, then take that sermon and they take it and then they transpire it to mean what they want it to mean. And so usually over family dinners or at work, the water cooler talk, they'll say, well, my pastor said this. So what it then does, it marinates in our minds. And so then we're just like, well, why he say this? Or why did he say this? And then it starts to play on our mind. It starts to condemn us. And so then we then come to church and we want to hear more about why they said what they said.
But
Why are they saying this and they say what they
the
said?
churches you go to, that's what they do. All the churches here in this area. That's why I'm like, the church folk full of shit. Because all they preaching is prosperity. Because
Yeah.
everything about money. Everything. Everything about that bottom line.
The
And
money.
church is business. And that's why I
It's a
say
business.
some are called to preach and some choose it because it's a very lucrative, tax-free profession.
That's Bible.
Huh?
That's Bible. Many are called, but few are chosen. That's Bible.
Okay, but just like you say, Aunt Leslie, not your church, but we all know somebody that you sat under for a long time.
But
Did
see,
you
how do you
good?
know if you chosen? How do you know
So
if you how does how
you can't say not my church because you don't know. This is the thing, and this is what I want people to get. People put pastors on a pedestal. They are fucking people.
They are.
They are fallible. They do raunchy, foul shit just like everybody else.
They
It's
do.
just
They
you
do.
don't see it.
They do. They do. They
They
until
do.
know how
until
to
you
dress
see
it
it?
up. I done had, let me tell you something, an experience I had at a church. I was trying to find a church home probably about 8 years ago. Okay. Because life was just kicking my ass.
Mhm.
And I had my boys. I had been recommended a church and I went. And I ain't know nobody in the damn church, not a soul. Me, I'm sitting on the aisle seat, and I got the boys sitting on the inside because I'm still protective of my boys. The pastor, straight whore.
Oh.
Yeah, he ain't know me. I'm sitting on the thing, and I see the show because that's what it was. It wasn't no.
He
I
said
ain't
the
get there
show.
by now. It was a show. It was the 11 o'clock a.m. show. When he walking out with his armor bearers, and for folks that don't know, that's the church like bodyguards. I don't know who the hell gonna
Okay.
tackle him, but them church bodyguards. He walking out with him, and I saw him looking at me all through church. Me and my red lipstick. I guess he was like, "Oh, that one there is loose."
Ooh.
And that thing walks out of the church, walks up the aisle after he, gave his closing remarks and kisses me on my forehead.
Oh,
Mm.
I said, that's a straight pimp move. I
Did
was
it make you moist, Mimi? Did you get
like,
moist? Did you get moist?
hell
yeah,
no.
yeah. He was gonna get you up in that congregation.
No. Uh-uh. The problem is all the other women in that church wanted him. He looked like if a roach came to life.
Oh man.
He ain't do nothing
Wow,
for me.
wow.
But the thing is, I'm in there and he requested me. His church secretary, he said, give her my personal number. She need prayer. And I was like, man, God, no, we're not about to do this at all. And honestly, and if I'm being totally honest, even I wasn't attracted to him in the least, just from what I have come from and what I have been conditioned to do. If I stayed there, I probably would have ended up messing with him.
Mm.
But I know that wouldn't have been good for me, so I got my ass out of it.
Mm.
And he did try
Wow.
numerous times.
Well, so with that, Mimi, I want to say to you, I want to say to you, you are not the only one that has been approached by pastors and things of that nature. Um, oh, your pastor is here. Your friend is here. Pastor Betty Spencer is here. Spirit of manipulation is running rapid. I totally agree. Um, and so Leslie said her pastor don't kiss nobody. So I want to
No,
say
because some of them know how to play their position a lot better. That
some of
one was
them
just
do.
messy.
Some of them do.
Yeah. It's just like some people play the game of chess very skillfully, and some are just beginners. So maybe he was just starting out.
Maybe he was just a beginner.
Yeah.
Um, wow. This has been a wonderful conversation on tonight. I want to say to Kevin, Thank you so much, sir, that you have been here and that you are, Leslie say some are not whores, that you have
A
been here
lot
and
of them
been
are. Though.
so, oh, dang, Mimi saying a lot of them are. I want to say to you, Kevin, thank you so much for being here and thank you for
Hey, no
speaking
problem.
the truth and sharing what you have shared
I
with
do
us. Thank
appreciate you
you
being
for,
here. Yeah.
I'm going to say this about Kevin. The whole night, and up until now, we've been in Kevin's crotch the whole night. Kevin been having the screen point up toward his crotch the whole night. And now Kevin want to move the screen up to his face. No disrespect to you, Kevin, but I'm just saying what you did earlier. And so
But
what's
you
up?
know what? Some people ain't used to being on camera, so they're
And
not aware
true, but
of
then
I mean, I saw my shorts. I saw my shorts. I tried to give y'all something to watch.
but then to attest to what Pastor Betty Spencer says, spirit of manipulation. So how we know that Kevin wasn't trying to manipulate us on tonight by showing us
well,
his.
yeah,
Uh,
well, if it was, it didn't work for me. But
Oh,
I
but
don't think that's what he was.
I
I
was
don't think
trying to
that's
make
what he
sure
was.
the Lord, the Lord had y'all.
Oh, let me- but I will say, I still got many, many questions,
I have
and I'm
many,
gonna
many
keep
questions.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
So,
searching.
so let me say this to both of you. You both have opened my eyes and caused me to have many questions. Pastor Betty Spencer, you know what? Listen.
Let Let it go, Lamont. Let it go, baby. Let it go.
Mimi said, "Let it go," but I
Let it
need
go,
to let it go
baby.
because you know what?
Because this is the thing. You can't
You
worry about what one person. It's just
know
like
what? And
no. I'm just gonna use this analogy,
okay.
okay? Because I work at MGM and we
Mhm,
did a concert. I was working a concert and
mhm,
we had Cher, which one of the biggest stars in the world.
mhm,
She had an arena. The theater was filled
mhm,
with people, but it was four seats empty up front.
mhm,
She did not see the thousands of people that came to see her. All she saw was them four seats
mhm.
empty up front, and she was not going to start until them four seats were filled.
Wow.
So I'm just saying this to you. You know that God has called you to preach, correct, sir?
Oh, I know who I am.
Exactly. So don't
I understand.
focus on the four empty seats.
And you know what?
I'm just that's just an analogy. I'm just saying.
And I
Don't
get
focus
you.
on what anybody else has to say because you can't live your truth for nobody else. This is yours.
But you know who I am, and you know how
I
we.
know, but I don't want you. I want you to keep it spiritual, sir.
And
We
I
have
am going to keep it spiritual. So I
okay,
want to have a spiritual conversation,
but
but
she don't
that's
want to talk to you, so you got to let it go.
you know what? And I respect her. I do. But then this is my question for those people that attend up under her tutelage, that attend and hear her words, that attend and hear her preaching.
But you don't
Um,
know her, you don't know her ministry.
I
So her
don't.
ministry is not like yours, where she sit up and she stand up and preach in front of folks. Her ministry is very hands on. It's very different.
And
She's very meet folks where they at.
so then my question is, why not meet me where I am?
She don't want to meet you because you ain't on
So
her.
then, so then
But
if that's the case, then you're not meeting people where they are, ma'am.
but you
Thank
gotta,
you, thank you,
Monty.
Mimi.
But
Thank
you're
you,
making
Mimi.
this thing personal. You don't
I'm
know.
not making it
Maybe
personal.
God has not told, and this y'all because y'all say God speak to you, right? Maybe
Maybe
God
God
telling her, leave that one alone. I need you out here. So
is
you
he
don't know.
telling
You
is he
don't know.
is God telling her to leave all the gays alone, or is it just this gay?
I don't know what God telling because I'm still trying to question if there is one.
Well, I
But
got
what I'm saying
questions.
is,
I got
just like
questions for
here,
her, God.
I gotta respect. Like Aunt Leslie, she say God speak to her. You say God speak to you. I ain't heard God say nothing to me, and I
Well,
know Kevin ain't heard nothing either.
well,
So
I ain't heard nothing.
we have to respect where
you know
people
what?
are.
And I respect
And if
where
they
Pastor.
don't want to talk to you for whatever reason, can't take it. Please don't take it personal.
But you know what? Whenever you put pastor in front of your name, I have problems with that because my
Okay,
thing
well,
is,
you just gonna have to have a problem with it.
and I will, because my thing
Okay.
is a pastor is a shepherd. So then are you saying that the lame sheep, are you saying those sheep that don't fit your qualification, you gonna kill them? You gonna shoot them? You ain't gonna help them
Is
make
she trying
them?
to kill your ass? She ain't trying to kill you. She just said she don't want to have. Maybe she not ready to have no conversation with you.
Then you killing me. So then you gonna
Maybe.
leave them sheep out there. So them
Well,
sheep
you about to die then. So let's get back to what we talking in. That's
well,
crazy.
my pastor. So anyway, so
Yes,
next,
why you even bring it up? Because right there, and see, this is what, and right here, your representation, and I know you are human,
Mhm.
but as a friend, I'm telling you, you did not represent spirit well, just right there. You did not.
When you
Oh,
don't
Because
even
you
can
like
I
got,
say something on
from
this?
what y'all
Can I
talk
say
about,
something on
you
this?
don't
you
even
got in
you
flesh,
don't
you
even
didn't
love
meet it with
you
spirit.
don't even like
You
the
didn't
guy.
because you got petty.
No, no, I'm
Did.
not being petty. My thing is, you openly said that she has a problem with me being ordained as being a reverend in the church. She has a problem with that.
What I
See,
said is she said it's not in
So
that
she
word.
should never discuss
Listen,
me.
listen. What I said was she's not going to sit on no panel with you because because according to the word that she reads and studies and that she stands on, you are not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be no preacher.
Then she ain't either. God bless you.
Okay, then
So,
then
Kevin,
okay, then don't even
I
talk because
thank
they
you. I
according to
thank
you ain't even
you.
one of y'all supposed to be there. So
but
just let it
can I say
go.
something on this? Can I say something on this?
You sure can, Kevin.
This is my problem with religion right there.
Right there.
Not you, Monty.
Right.
Her. It
Right.
gives you a religion gives you a nice, beautiful framework to hide your bigotries behind. So
Mm.
so you can say I don't like this person because in the Bible it says this. So
Mhm.
it's really because that's the way you feel, and
Right.
you just
Mhm.
found some scripture to support the way you feel.
And you
But
know
see,
what?
I said that I didn't believe that I didn't see nowhere in the Bible where it spoke against homosexuality. Monty said,
Well, homosexuality in nature is natural. It's a natural thing. There's
"What
a plenty of
I
homosexual animals.
this is what I said. I know because I my dogs are. Lord knows they be humping each other. But this is my thing. I'm what I'm saying is certain things, and this has been my argument. I can read the same Bible that everybody else reads, and I don't see what you see. And to me, I'm over here trying to navigate here. I can't worry about who you screwing. I can't.
You know what?
I can't say it's right, and I can't
None
say it's wrong.
Oh,
of
It's
my
not.
concern. I don't knock Monty, you're homosexual. I don't knock that at all. Do you? That's your
That's your
thing.
business.
You know, I that's none of my business. None of my, just like who I'm with ain't none of everybody else's business.
Nobody else's shit.
Nobody business. Nobody
mhm.
All
business.
I'm
So yeah,
saying is
I don't knock
let's
it at
not
all.
get past the bigger picture and focus on we not y'all if I'll talk to her and see if y'all have a personal conversation
She
off
hear
camera. She's
me.
not gonna do it on camera. She's
She,
not gonna
she
do
hear
it.
me on
I'm just
here.
I'm
And
telling
you
you.
know what? I mean no disrespect to Pastor Betty Spencer. I don't. I don't. But my thing is, let's have a conversation. And whether it be on the phone or it be impersonal or whatever it be,
I'll see if she open to that.
and so my thing is because I have questions. Because
Well,
at
I
the
got a whole lot of questions. Can you get somebody that's gonna answer mine? Because I ain't
we
got
gonna work
mine
on
answered yet.
you know what, we gonna work on that. So listen, I love you both. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate your authentic self on here tonight. You and your guitar playing self. I can't wait to be able to experience you in concert, or to be able to experience you whenever you're doing what you call, as not what as you call, but what I call as ministry, because I think that anytime someone has been given a gift, it's ministry.
Hmm.
So I appreciate that. Mimi, I love your singing. I love your ministry. I love who you
Yeah.
are. And so I want people to think outside the box on tonight. Think about, does God really love me? I got questions. Mimi has questions. Kevin has questions. I'm sure you have questions. When you're down and out, when you're at your lowest? Do you feel like that God loves you? Should you ever experience a low moment? Should you ever experience a low moment as being a child of God? Those are questions that I have. So I thank you on tonight, Mimi. I love you. Kevin, I
I
love
love you
you.
too.
I'm just meeting you, but I like you, sir. We gonna hook up.
Hey
I can't
man, you cool too, man. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. So I'm gonna
But
say, go ahead, Mimi. What you gonna say?
but my biggest thing before we do the following, I
Okay.
need for everybody to just think. Don't go along with whatever just stuff because that's what you've been taught. That's what everybody else is doing. If stuff doesn't make sense, question it. Research it. Find out for yourself. Be an individual thinker, an independent thinker. Don't just go with the herd mentality just because that's what's popular. Because sometimes when you go with the herd mentality will get you fucked up because you're doing what
Totally.
everybody else is doing, and you're gonna get the same results that everybody else is getting. So I need for you to do what's best for you, research and get to know for yourself.
I totally agree with you, Mimi. So, Pastor Betty Spencer, I got questions. So, follow us. Follow us on Instagram,
Please.
in the chair with Monty and Mimi, and on Facebook, Monty and Mimi, and on YouTube, in the chair with Monty and Mimi. So, listen, y'all, we love y'all. Good night. Mimi, I know you mad at me right now. You ain't
I
even
ain't mad at you. I just want you to let it go, honey, like Elsa. Let it go. But
Pisces.
you ain't going to.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna try to make it happen.
we Pisces and we petty, and you know
Oh,
that.
no, I'm not Patty.
Mimi,
No,
you are.
no,
You are.
I'm not
Stop it,
Patty.
girl. You are.
Cause I put the shit out up front. I'm not.
So
I
I
don't
put
have
it out
time.
there on front. Pastor Betty, come see me. Have a good
Mm-mm.
night.
But I know how to.